You were a Muslim for 50 years of your life. You worshipped one God alone. The God of Abraham,
No.
the God of Moses,
No.
the God who doesn't die,
No, he's
the
not.
God who doesn't sleep,
No, he's
the
not.
God who doesn't wrestle with his
He wasn't-
creation,
he wasn't-
the
he
God
wa-
who doesn't forget, the
look.
God who doesn't regret.
He wasn't God of Abraham.
Okay.
The God I was
So you-
worshipping,
now-
that wasn't that God which is said in the Bible.
Let me complete. So you came from a God who doesn't sleep, who doesn't die, who doesn't forget, who doesn't regret, who doesn't
Not that God.
who become right, you were worshiping God who doesn't have all these attributes, who doesn't make him overcome by Jacob and is wrestled by his own creation and is in fact beaten by his own creation. Then you began to worship a God who is a man. You worship a man.
Jacob
And
never
you worship
said, Jacob never overcome God.
Well, who wrestled with God?
He wrestled, he never overcome.
Who won in that wrestling match?
He didn't win.
Who won in the
He
wrestling
said,
match?
He said, bless me. He didn't let go. He didn't let go. But anyway,
irrespective.
Okay.
Irrespective. Okay.
Okay. No, we're going as a Muslim. Let's go Muslim to Muslim. because
I'm going as a Muslim.
Way.
I'm going as a Muslim.
Yeah.
So I want to understand you.
Yeah.
Okay. You came from this perfect vision of who God is.
Okay.
Like He is one. He has no beginning. He has no end. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. You came from this pure monotheistic belief in Allah, and you went to a belief where God became a man to die at the hands of his creation, to forgive his creation for a sin or a rule which he himself created. How did you make that transition?
What do you mean? Who himself created?
So God, the Father,
Right.
right? Who legislated this law of original sin? Who legislated that?
God.
From God.
It
Who?
wasn't legit. But look,
No, original sin. Who?
they're looking at sin from us to you guys.
First one.
Sin, in our point of view, is separation from God.
Correct. And in your perspective, you want to come here? You can sit down. Tell me why you worship a man. Just tell me that one thing.
I'm not worshiping man.
Do you worship
I
Jesus?
God.
Do you worship Jesus?
Yes.
Was he a man?
He was a man and divine at the same time.
Was he 100% man?
100% man, 100% divine.
So how are you telling me you don't worship a man?
I do.
So you do worship a man?
Yeah. My God who became man.
So just tell me how, in your mind, it is acceptable to worship a human being who is limited and not
God-
worship the one who
look,
is unlimited.
look.